back to Storytime with Captain Xavier. I am Chaylo Laurino, and I play Captain Xavier here on YouTube and in lots of other places. I also do have a lot of other hobbies. I do video games and post-apocalyptic LARPs and, all these various things. But I also play Dungeons and Dragons, and this is another story from my Dungeons and Dragons days back in college with my friend Joseph and his sister and several others. This is the story of the Reverse Dungeon. Now, if I remember correctly, and I might not, and the good news is Joseph actually watches these videos, so he can correct me if he remembers better. The Reverse Dungeon was a module from a much earlier edition of the game. We were playing 3.5 or Pathfinder, and this was from like 2.0 or possibly earlier. And so modifications were made in order to fit to the rules that we had because we didn't have all of the old manuals. But the concept of the Reverse Dungeon was that rather than playing an adventuring party going into a dungeon to fight, mook monsters and you level up and the monsters get harder and so on and so forth, the players played the monsters and the GM played the adventuring party. And so you were protecting this dungeon from these invading murder hobos. And you started out as mooks, so of course you're all going to get slaughtered, and as it goes higher and higher, the players get more powerful, but then so do the monsters at the adventuring party gets more powerful, but then so are the monsters that the players are getting to play, and it is entirely possible for the monsters to wipe out the adventuring party. And that was the goal, is to try to take them out before they made it all the way and killed the boss and got the loot. And so we were playing kind of a variant on that, where rather than just playing NPC mooks, we were playing monstrous characters that had class levels. So we were playing goblins in the opening, and so we got to make goblin characters. But obviously there were a lot of restrictions. There were classes that we couldn't have, and we got various racial bonuses and all of that. And so we got to build these ridiculous characters that were just insane and crazy. And that is where Susie, the crazy albino goblin sorceress, came from. She was part of that clan. I have no idea. I do remember what my character's name was, and I can't say it on camera. But it was funny. And went back to something that Kestra, one of the other players, called me when my dwarf threw her rogue through a door for failing to find the trap on the previous door. She came to the next one, she said no traps, I threw her through, she should guarantee her work. She called me something, and then this character ended up being a play on that. But it was a naughty word. Naughty. And so, yeah, we were tasked with protecting the entrance to the dungeon. And since we were goblins, we got proficiency in trap making, and so we all tried making traps. And we all failed, I believe. I think we all rolled horribly. Or we had ridiculous convoluted ideas that were like pit traps with things, and nothing was working out. And so finally, my character decided to be clever. I took a piece of string and ran it across the door in front of the cave, tied to a stick on either end. So it's just a piece of rope tied between two sticks stuck into the ground. That's all it was. That was my trap. It wasn't a tripwire. It was just string between two sticks. I then went back into the cave and hid in the shadows with a crossbow. And so when the adventure party arrived, they come up to the pit, or come up to the cave entrance, and the rogue in the party comes up and checks it for traps, and finds this very, very obvious tripwire, and looks at it and checks both sides. It's like, this isn't a trap, this is just the worst tripwire ever designed. Okay, whatever. And he cuts it, and I shoot him. And he is now extremely confused because it was a string. And he was like, it's the most devilish trap I've ever seen. And then we sprung our ambush, and we ended up killing a couple of them and driving them off, and he got away. I think he might have been the only one that got away. And it was a combination, if I remember, just a comedy of errors, of them making bad decisions, us getting lucky, our ridiculous traps. I don't think any of them really worked properly, but they confused them, and they weren't prepared for it, and they weren't expecting it, and we were far too intelligent and organized for them, and all of that. And so I think only the rogue got away. He had been injured, and so he wasn't wasn't in on the big rush inside and all of that. And so he went away. And so we reset everything. I think we all leveled up, and we tried to making better traps, and I don't remember whether it succeeded or not. But I do remember that my character just tied a knot in the rope, went back into the shadows with his crossbow, and waited. And a new party arrived with the original rogue, but he had other party members, and I think there was another rogue. And he tries to explain it. Now that this is the most devilish trap I've ever seen. I don't know how it works. There's no mechanism. It's not connected. It's got to be magic. They detected magic on it. It didn't detect as magic on it. They're like, okay, look, it's just a string. Like, no! The last time when I cut the string, I got shot! And the other rogue was like, no, I check. It's just a string. So the other rogue cuts the string, and I shoot the first rogue again. I don't know if I killed him or not. I don't remember really what happened after that. I don't remember. Pretty sure we took him out, and I don't know if we then went on an adventure. I have no memory of what happened in that adventure beyond the string on the cave door and shooting the rogue twice. I think I killed him with the second one. I think I poisoned the arrow. Might have. Sounds like something I would do. Anyway, it's a fairly short story. But that is where Susie came from. She had so much fun playing that character because it was such an interesting character, being just completely insane, but not non-functionally. She was functionally insane. She wasn't like suicidal. She was just a little cracked. And it made for a really fun character. And so when that got brought back up in the later campaign, or in a separate campaign, it was neat having that character brought back, and that's where it had come from. I want to say she had some devilish plan. I swear there was a pit trap involved. I want to say Kestra was responsible for the pit trap. I don't remember. Hopefully Joseph sees this and can add more. So if there's a pinned comment, it will be from Joseph fleshing out what I have forgotten, because that was so long ago. Pretty sure he was the one who was GMing that one. It was wacky fun. I think it was the only time I think I was playing a rogue. I don't remember what class I was now. But yeah, shooting that poor rogue again was the best part. I want to say I crit him the second time and actually killed him. It was fun. But yeah, fairly short story today. So for the next time, still going to put the Witch Queen on there because that is still one of my favorite adventures. And in fact, like I said, you've seen an image from it. Part of the those images that pop up at the beginning of the video, one of those is from that campaign. I'm also going to put up the history of the Kitty Pike drills, how I got into that and where that ended up taking us and how that ended up being a lot more involved. I mean, it started with stuff I was doing in Wisconsin and ended up getting us hired for work at colleges. So that is an interesting story. I guess I'll go with for the last one, The War of Two Knights, which was a war between Captain Xavier and Lord Hamish MacLean. That was good times. So yeah, there you have it. Those are the stories for next time. Survey will be down in the description. Feel free to vote on which of those stories you'd like to see, and that's what I will tell next time. Thank you for watching.